Morning. It's 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock on Friday morning. Mind you, that's a line from last week. I got up at 3 o'clock last week. So this poor girl, Jesus, 33, and they reckon this copper murdered her. Let's just clear this up now. From what I've seen, he's diplomatic protection, and obviously armed. And I thought that at the beginning because they wouldn't say his rank or his job. I don't know what his rank is. I don't know what rank they are. Whether you have to be a sergeant or something to get into diplomatic protection, I don't know. Of course, the BBC are leaping to the police's defence already by saying he wasn't on duty. You know, he wasn't on duty when it happened. I mean, like, that makes a difference. But that's just them. That's just them trying. It's little psychological seeds that they plant. That's just them already trying to deflect attention away from the police. Already, the thing's only just started and they're at it. Because they're all Freemasons. This is a big Freemason cult. So I'm gonna, from what I saw last night on Twitter, I think it was, which was basically 2 officers now are under suspicion. I don't know if they've arrested the other one or what. But exposing themselves, or one of themselves, or himself, came into it. Someone's exposed themselves, basically. So I'm going to take a wild stab at this one, because the IOPC undoubtedly will clear them, and there will have to be a private court hearing to find any justice whatsoever. I'm going to take a wild stab at this one. One case was referred mandatorily. It's a good word, isn't it? Mandatorily. And the other one was referred voluntarily. I went all posh there. Voluntarily. So, I'm guessing that the one that's voluntary is the copper who exposed himself, and the one that's mandatory is obviously the one they've already got in neg, who they suspect of the murder. So I'm guessing the one exposed himself, then the other one said he'd cover it up for him, went to speak to this woman, it didn't work out as planned, something went wrong, so he killed her. Because this is how coppers operate. They're much the same as politicians. When they can't get their way, they go into a strop, they chuck their toys out the pram, and yes, quite often they get violent and aggressive. Excuse me. That's not coronavirus, that's too many cigarettes. Yeah, and we see this day in, day out now. We see this with the councils with their Nazi bully boy tactics, trying to collect council tax. You must do this, you must do that. Quite simply and sadly, because the loss of this girl's life has just highlighted this, the police, the councils, the MPs, they're all basically completely out of control. They have absolutely no conscience. They have no idea whatsoever that they're supposed to represent the public. They think they should be allowed to do whatever they want, whenever they want, to whoever they want, and not only get away with it, but probably blame someone else in the process. You know, it's quite incredible. We've seen the psychosis and the sociopathic traits with you know, the likes of Matt Hancock and Boris Johnson and the coronavirus saga and all these adverts we saw on TV. Oh, you must wear a mask or Grandad might die. I mean, if there's no level that can be on that's healthy. There's nothing healthy about that. There's nothing productive about that. There's nothing constructive about that. It's just out and out bullying, Nazi behaviour. You know, and now it's the vaccine. If we did the lockdown, we'd be free. If we wore the mask, we'd be free. If we did the social distancing, we'd be free. If we do the vaccine, we'll be free. You'll never be free. You'll never be free until you take your masks off, stand up, grow a spine, and go back to work. Okay, because that's all these people have got is threats and bluster. Yes, some people have been arrested. Yes, some people have been fined. Don't pay the fine. It's a civil offence, okay? All they can do is knock on your door. So, as I've proved, by the way, if you care to watch any of the rest of my channel. So yeah, unfortunately, this really, you know, comes at a time. This poor girl, I can't imagine what she went through, but her death has just highlighted the sociopathic tendencies of the police and the psychotic behaviour of politicians. Cressida Dick's running around going, "Oh God, I'm so distraught. How could this happen? How could it be one of our own officers who have done this?" Listen, Cressida, you're responsible for the murder of Jean-Charles de Menezes, and Daddy knew the judge, so you got away with it. All 4, I think it was, firearms officers got away with it because what happened? The Met Police got fined. Right, who pays that fine? That's right, it's a taxpayer, isn't it? Because that's where you get all your money from. As far as I'm concerned, Cressida, you're guilty of murder yourself. So don't start with the big, you know, high horse, let's have loads of sympathy, you know, we're all gutted and how could this happen malarkey, because you don't care. You don't care because you were tipped to be Commissioner of the Met 15, 20 years ago. So all you've done is been pushed up the scale by your Freemason mates. After the murder of Jean-Charles de Menezes, you went and hid in the Home Office for 10 years because you're a coward. And here we see it, guys. I hate to use terms like war, but, you know, the government and the police and the councils have become the enemy of the people.